on the show with hilarious misunderstandings, and today we count down 10 of those funny scandals.
Make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Let's get it going.
10. King Keith. King Keith believed in fame more than education. He spent a lot of time studying celebrities. Quite an idea of an ideal education. His idols include Aaliyah, Paris, Lady Gaga, and Nicki Minaj. When he appeared on Dr. Phil's show, his character was hilarious. He said that he had changed his name from Eric to King Keith Franklin VII to give him a push in the music career. The mother said that King Keith rarely contributed in the house because he was way too busy watching TV, keeping up with the Kardashians, and taking notes from other celebrities. He even took notes from Dr. Phil's advice when he had other guests on the show. Talk about literally learning from the best. King Keith made the whole audience laugh so hard when his opening remark on the show was, "I feel like I am at home." He was lucky that Grammy Award winner David Foster thought he had a future in music. David Foster is the only person who can be worse than Simon Cowell. We are yet to hear a hit song from King Keith, but we appreciate him for cracking ribs when he was on the show. We also hope that he started contributing more time and other resources at home after the advice he got from the show. One of the greatest things on earth is technology. This invention has come up with ways of finding love across continents. Imagine how long it would take to send a letter from America to Africa and get a response. 9. Sarah. Sarah was no longer happy with her marriage, and she decided to divorce her husband, Keith. Later, she began looking for another lover on the internet. Her first love was from Ghana. She ended this relationship when the husband got to know about it. Her termination led her to Kevin, a pastor from Kenya. Dr. Phil had Kevin join the conversation live from Kenya. Neither Kevin nor Keith were ready to let Sarah go. Keith was not going to let a pastor covet and take his wife. Kevin, on the other hand, had already introduced Sarah to his parents and they were ready for marriage. When Sarah was asked what she wanted to tell Kevin, she said, "I love you, baby." This was in full sight of her husband and her parents-in-law. The whole situation was utterly hilarious. Dr. Phil has had his fair share of dealing with love triangles. Advising two women in love with the same man can be very difficult, and also pretty funny. Let's have a look at a catfish that caused problems between two plus-sized women and a gentleman. 8. Sandy and Eileen. The two ladies were fighting over one man, Chris. Eileen created a fake profile on Facebook to communicate with Sandy. On one post, Sandy shared, "I am thankful for my health and everyone that stood beside me when I didn't know that I would see the next day." Eileen, as Claudia, responded, "Too bad you didn't drop dead." On another post, Sandy said, "I am thankful for my snooze button and electric blanket. I enjoyed sleeping in a little longer. Thankful for the omelet my baby made me and served me in bed." Eileen, as Claudia, responded, "With all that fat, you need an electric blanket? Savage much?" What followed were numerous Facebook posts and hilarious responses from Eileen. While on the show, they could not stop calling each other names and making outrageous comments. It was a sad situation to be in, but these two ladies gave the audience the laugh of a lifetime. It's devastating to think that a spouse would cheat. Women out there have gone to extreme measures to keep their men, but let's face it, if a man wants to cheat, he will cheat, even if his lady is an hourglass figure. 7. Marianne. Miranda said on Dr. Phil's show that her mother was obsessed with looking like a stripper. Wow. This craze began when the husband confessed to visiting a strip club. Marianne would rather spend money to change her appearance than to educate her daughter. She has cut her hair, dyed her hair, and has had plastic surgeries to enhance her appearance. She even talked her daughter into getting a boob job. Marianne also advised her daughter to work on her appearance because men are visual and do not care about education. One day, Miranda went home and found a stripper pole in the house and fake money on the floor. Marianne was working hard to become a stripper. On the show, she admitted to advising her daughter on having a lot of sex with her boyfriend to keep him. Next level parenting right there. Have you ever wondered what the afterlife is all about? Well, there are stories about golden pavements, big mansions, lots of joy, and music. Maybe it's more like the environment from the TV show The Good Place. Nobody knows. For a moment, Christians thought that it was time to go and live with their God for the rest of eternity. The second coming of the Messiah had come sooner than it was anticipated. 6. Haley. A young lady made headlines when she claimed that she was allegedly pregnant with baby Jesus. Her family members thought she had a psychotic breakdown, and they were right. Haley did 6 pregnancy tests, and they all came out negative. It got even funnier when she had an ultrasound done. It turns out there was no baby Jesus in her stomach, let alone any baby. When she went back to the show after some time, she had another funny narrative. She claimed that Eminem was her father, and she had pictures to prove it. Haley had told people at the treatments that Dr. Phil was her uncle. She was also convinced that she was one of the contestants on the TV show Idols. These allegations had created turmoil amongst her family members. Every comment and statement she made while on the show was not just dumb, but hilarious. If you thought you heard it all when it comes to pregnancies, wait until you hear this next story. 5. Cryptic pregnancy. A woman tore her family apart when she claimed to be 3 years and 7 months pregnant. She said that she had a cryptic pregnancy. Obviously, no one had any idea what was meant by cryptic pregnancy. An ultrasound done showed that she was not pregnant, but Zona suggested that she had 6 uteruses, and the one tested did not have a baby. Very funny. She was convinced that she was carrying 6 babies, and the movements in her belly were overwhelming. What makes this even funnier is that Zona had her tubes blocked before she supposedly got pregnant. Well, sometimes contraceptives backfire, but what are the chances of carrying 6 babies with blocked tubes? While on the show, she asked Dr. Phil to feed her babies, and he respectfully declined. It's 2019 and people are allowed to change their gender if they wish, but how appropriate is it for a mother to influence this transition for their child? You be the judge. It doesn't come as a surprise considering the time when there was an idea to stop assigning genders at birth. A baby should be referred to as it until they could decide a gender for themselves. Such are times. 4. Carly. Carly's family members were convinced that she was influencing her son to become a woman. Carly, however, insisted that her son had already shown signs that he wanted to transition. She made this journey easier by dyeing his hair pink, buying dresses for him, and doing his nails. Daniel, the brother, was not impressed with all these actions. He said that when James/Bella was growing up with their parents, he had never shown any signs of transitioning. Immediately, he moved to Carly's house and they started noticing the change. Carly and her husband had a princess house made for James, and they bought him dolls to play with. They even had several conversations to ask him if he wanted to be male or female, and James supposedly wanted to be Isabella. Carly's family reported the matter to Child Services because, according to them, Carly was abusing her son. I agree that we are evolving, but we have reached the time when a mother can decide what gender their 6-year-old son should be. I don't know if this is hilarious or scary. So many people battle with appearances, but in a good way. I mean, nobody wants to look bad when walking down the streets. Perfection is an obsession that affects ladies more so than men. The next guest shocked the audience when she said she looked ugly. 3. Kaylee. Take a look at a girl that thought she was ugly. Clearly, she needs to change her mirrors and not her appearance. Kaylee suffered from body dysmorphic disorder and was afraid that people would judge her for being ugly. She never left her room, and when she did, she would have panic attacks. She always disguised herself in a baggy shirt, a cap, and sunglasses before she left the house. Bradley, her boyfriend, admitted that her phobia was ruining their relationship. She always accused him of cheating and sent screenshots of girls that she admired. This kind of situation is really sad. Pets are fantastic for some people, but for others, it's an obsession. I thought that having close to 20 cats only happened in movies, where lonely old women decided to keep many cats to comfort them. I was wrong. 2. The cat collector. She had already collected 15 cats, and they were taking all of her time. She was always cleaning after them or feeding them, and cats are not like dogs. They have this attitude pet lovers refer to as catitude. If they don't feel like doing something, they won't do it, period. It's understandable when marriage becomes chaotic because of a third human party, but not because of small creatures who can't even talk. Pamela's friend and her husband approached Dr. Phil to help them with their marriage, which was collapsing. It was so terrible that the people could not even go on a date because Pamela but was always worrying about the cats. She couldn't have fun because she felt guilty that she had left her cats. Oh dear. Love can be blind. There are people who had insisted on relationships even when they were not sure about them. The next guest on Dr. Phil is a living example.
I saved the best for last, but first I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it. It really works.
1. Lewis and Marianne. Marianne accused Lewis of cheating, and like every other man who has ever faced that accusation, he had a reason. Pretty cliche. Lewis said on the show that his girlfriend was a gold digger, but he still wanted to marry her. Their appearance on the show left the audience with aching ribs. Here are some of the hilarious statements he made about his girlfriend. After I hooked up with Marianne, I should have dropped her, but I was addicted to her sex. She had a very sweet and innocent look, the face of an angel, but there's a devil inside. She can really be a fun person and caring, but at her core, she is nothing but a gold digger. I want to marry her. The big question is, why would he want to marry her? Thanks for watching, and have an excellent day.